Hello YouTube. It has been quite some time since I've shown my face around these parts. I'll get into that a little bit later, but for right now, I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite lenses in my arsenal, one of the only two primes that I currently own, and that is the Nikon 28mm f2.8 AIS lens. Fantastic lens, stellar lens. I use it for so many applications. I've shot weddings with it, corporate video, short films, photography. Actually, right now I have the Fuji mount on here, Fuji to Nikon converter. I threw this on my XE1 and XE3, and I would use that for photography as well. So tons of applications that I've used this for. Very versatile lens, and it's very small. If you don't count the adapter, the lens is only this big. Very, very nice size and very solidly built as well. This is a fully manual lens. You have the aperture right here, 2.8 to 22, f22, and I'm sure you can get this modified to declick it. If you're a filmmaker or do a lot of video that may be of interest to you. I've been wanting to do it, I just haven't. But yeah, there's not a lot I can say negatively about this lens. I mean, you got the focus markings right here, easy to focus. This thing is sharp. The images speak for themselves, really. I mean, it's sharp from the center to the corners, f2.8 all the way up to like maybe f8 to 11, depending on the camera that you're using. But I mean, the images out of this lens are just stellar. The color rendition is fantastic. Love the bokeh on it. The focusing distance is probably one of my favorite parts. The minimum focusing distance on this, I think, is like around 21 centimeters or something like that. I could be wrong, but it's around that number. This thing's basically a macro lens as well, and so I love shooting close-ups with this lens. I love wide-angle close-ups. I shoot on a C100 for most of my video work, so it's a Super 35 sensor. So you're roughly getting around 42 millimeters of, in terms of field of view, since it's 28mm. And I actually really like that focal length a lot. You still get the wide angle, but the, field of view is closer to a normal lens. I love the 35mm look. I'm not a huge fan of a 50mm. I don't know why. It's a little too tight for my liking. But so the 42 range is like right up my alley. It's a great focal length to, be shooting at. So price-wise, you can pick this up for fairly cheap. It ranges. I actually got a really good deal on this on eBay back a couple years ago, and I paid maybe $250 for it, which was great. On B&H, you could find the lens new for about $540, and you could find it used there. I think I saw a listing for about $370. So it varies. $300 to $500 is where you're typically going to be landing for paying for this lens. But that's a really good price, considering the performance that you get from this lens. I mean, yeah, it's a 2.8 only for a prime. Most people would like to see something in the 1.8 area, or at least an f2. But this thing's fantastic. This is a very, very good lens. You can adapt it to just about any system that you want. Was this a 52mm thread, I believe? Doesn't say on here. I have a UV. Yeah, 52mm filter thread on here. If there's one negative I can say about the lens, and that's really just Nikon lenses in general, is the way that they focus. They are different from the rest of the world, and I don't know why they do that. It's opposite. The way you throw and you pull in focus, it's different. So when you use the lens, a little bit of a cognitive dissonance there. You're going to have to sort of train yourself or retrain yourself every time you use this lens. Maybe confusing for the first minute or two, but normally I jump right back into it just fine. But yeah, I wish that they would just focus like every other manufacturer out there. That would be fantastic. One of my favorite lenses, carry a lot almost all the time. If I need a prime that I'm just sticking on and I can only have one lens, it'll most likely be this lens. Okay, so now I want to talk about me and my channel for a little bit. When I started this a few years ago, I actually had no end goal. I kind of just made a video about wanting a C100 Mark III, which I still want one, and I still think there's a possibility, but I digress. I made that video, and I actually just took a look at the stats. I haven't looked at my channel in a really long time, so when I looked and I saw it has a couple thousand views, and there was some conversation happening in the comments that I completely missed out on because I'm an idiot and just have not been paying attention to this, because I guess it didn't rank as a priority for me. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I made 2 videos, and then I suddenly just couldn't make any more videos. I just didn't have the content. And I don't want to be the type of person to just write BS and film BS just to get views or whatever. If there's something I want to talk about, then I'll make a video talking about it. If you were to judge my life based on that, then you would think that I have nothing to talk about ever because I haven't made a video in a very long time. Which is, somewhat true. But to the other points that I have been just busy. I work full time. I'm traveling a lot for work around the tri-state area. Half my day is spent traveling. And on the weekends, I'm doing some other things, catching up with friends or movies or other things that, I just don't have the time, or didn't have the time lately, to just sit down and produce and focus on just this channel, which is fine with me because, honestly, it started out as a hobby. It still is sort of a hobby. Like I said, if there's something I want to talk about, I'll probably talk about it. For example, Fuji XE3, I just picked this up 6 weeks ago or around that time, so I'm still shooting with it. But I would love to make a video about this sometime and, maybe do a small review. There's already reviews out for this, but yeah, one of my favorite stills cameras so far that I've used. So would love to talk about that. And there's some other things. I guess I should mention that I recently directed a short film called The Rose Garden, and we've been shopping around the festivals this past couple months, and we've won 7 awards already, so we're really super stoked about that. And it'll be online soon, so I'm definitely going to make a video about that, probably put that up, have you guys check it out, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I've been keeping busy just trying to write and direct more long-form stuff. It's hard for me to do short-form content like YouTube videos where you're expected to release a video like every day, every other day, or at least once a week. I don't know, I can't do that. I just don't have the self-confidence in myself, and I just don't have the time or the resources or the actual want. So, take that for what it is. Maybe you'll see me around, maybe you won't. Alright guys, that just about wraps it up for me here. Thank you again for watching, and if you want to keep in touch with me, you can find me on Instagram. You can go to my website, carlfernandez.com, check out my work there, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video, whenever that is.